a grilling review, or was it positivity? Well, surprisingly, it leaned to the latter. So, I hope you'll join me today for this quick dive into exactly what his take was. Of course, real quick, the featured artist is Aloysius. He does both animation and illustrations, so be sure to Toriyama's main gripe was more so on the work he had to do for it, as his mind was already on the next project as soon as the series finished, and generally just seemed to want to move on. And so as a result, in his own words, he lacked quite a bit of enthusiasm for this project, and in an earlier interview from 2008, even going as far to say he was somewhat resistant to the idea of doing more Dragon Ball designs. But in context, this is more than understandable. Like I mentioned in the prior video, even though Dragon Ball had run for 10 years, he technically had been stuck on a weekly deadline for 15 years, considering his gay comic series Dr. Slump came directly before it. Now, there was a brief 3-month break in between, however he was pretty much busy that whole time, providing hardly a break at all. So again, this lack of passion is more so related to the work he had to do directly himself, as on the other hand, there seemed to be quite consistent praise and intrigue leading up to it. In an interview published in Daizenshuu 5, written prior to its airing, Toriyama goes on to say that from what he had seen from the rough scripts that he had been shown from Toei's staff, it looked rather interesting and, quote, well thought out. And in an interview from the same series of books, Daizenshuu 7, he congratulates the staff for being able to come up with the concepts they did. But most surprisingly, the one big criticism surrounding GT, and something I originally wasn't all for when I first watched it, that being Goku transformed into a child, is a concept he seems to have been totally fine with, even half jokingly saying he might be able to continue the manga again. There was also a one-page comic written just before the airing of Dragon Ball GT's first episode, with again him saying he is looking forward to it, and believed that if the story could have a balance of brisk progression to it while also maintaining a leisurely feel, he has high hopes for it. And an interesting tidbit is that
Boy.
regardless, but with that,